and you've definitely seen some evolution through SEO, and I understand through the franchises you're part of, and then like the technology. And so like, I'm looking forward to digging through some of the gems that you might have in your head. Let's just start with how you got into real estate, because this is also seems like an interesting story.
Yeah, I was fresh out of college, and I have a finance and economics degree. What I realized is that I needed to move to a different area other than Myrtle Beach to really get into the career I wanted to be in. My wife now, at the time, her and I got serious. She wasn't going to leave. So I was like, oh, I guess I'm going to have to figure it out down here. So I started bartending, and I was bartending all through college. I kept bartending, and a gentleman came into the bar one day that I've known since we were young, and told me he made a bunch of money in real estate, and it was January, and I couldn't believe it. So I was like, went and took the courses, and I signed up.
Awesome. And so, Myrtle Beach, especially back then, although it sounds like it's becoming a little bit less seasonal now. Maybe you can fill us in on that, but definitely a vacation spot. So January would be, I'm assuming, low season.
January is it's odd. It's more of a low season now than it was back then, because we had a lot of snowbirds that were coming down here, and they would buy a condo, rent it out during the summer, use it in the off season. Now these people are moving down here, so they're not really coming right during the holidays to find their forever home. So it's actually a little slower now in the off season than it used to be as far as real estate goes. Myrtle Beach itself, I mean, it's expanded with restaurants and entertainment for people year round. But as far as the real estate market goes, it's a little slower for about 6 to 8 weeks there during the wintertime.
So talk to me about getting started, because it sounds like you were pretty SEO aware. And so maybe I'm curious, like, what was when you first got started in real estate, like, how were you starting to generate leads, and when did you start to think about online marketing?
I was door knocking. And back then it was a reverse directory book. So that's how we got like phone numbers. Now people circle prospects. So we would go find a street and find all their home phone numbers and, dial them up and see if they were interested in selling the property. Didn't really have much as far as lead generation back then. You couldn't buy leads like you can today and just get in there instantly. So one Sunday I was blowing up open house balloons, and I met a gentleman that had a local real estate magazine here. And the local real estate magazine, to get into the ad, I would actually drive 60 miles putting the magazines in Walmarts and grocery stores to pay for my 2-page spread. And I still got, got some really good clients out of that magazine. Didn't know much about the web space, but this gentleman also was building WordPress websites, and he was building them neighborhood specific, packaging them with postcards and everything. So I bought a package for a couple neighborhoods, a couple different packages. And, but through that, he told me, hey, you need to start writing more content and really getting this boosted up. So I actually had him build a site. Back then it was yourhomeatthebeach.com. And I just started going around taking, entryway signs of the neighborhoods and typing content and linking them together. And I'll never forget the first time I got that first lead was the most exciting day in real estate for sure.
That's awesome. Oh, I mean, you mentioned a couple things really, really interesting there. What year was that? Do you remember?
2006. The first lead probably didn't come until 2007.
Okay. So I think that's like pretty early in the internet game. And you're talking about, you mentioned like building specific content for specific neighborhoods, which local SEO was just in its like infancy in 2007.
Yeah, we already built out in our area. There's basically like 12 little cities or towns. Once you build that out, what do you do next, right? So you just start hitting on the communities that people are driving through, and they know the neighborhoods.
Right. So was the guy that was building the website, he was the guy that kind of directed you towards like building, like, I guess at that time, like individual blog posts for neighborhoods?
No, they were content pages, kind of like we do today. And it had a good structure to it. He always had a good structure to his website. But I would go on forums, and that's actually where I met like Jeff Manson and stuff like that. Yeah. A long time ago was through forums that we just shared ideas about how to make it rank.
Awesome. Awesome. And so eventually you got there and got that first lead in 2007. How many pages had you built? Like how much time and effort had you put in before you got that first lead?
I had an advantage because this was before kids. So, I mean, work about 80 hours a week, probably 60 of them on the website and 20 of them on, just taking people around and showing them property or learn about neighborhoods, door knocking.
And you were doing that 60-20 split like before you were getting leads from your website, or is that like after the leads started flowing?
It was before. It was before.
Wow. So you were investing, like believing that this channel was going to yield results.
Yes.
Yeah. That's awesome. That's awesome. Okay. So what happened? Like what was the next? So you believed, right? Like it's almost like starting a technology company. You started producing a ton of content. They started ranking. You got that first lead. Now what happened?
I worked it.
Nice.
Went and sold a home. Not off the first one, but probably off the first 5. I went and sold a home. And then they started coming very quickly after that. I used to rank number 1 for Myrtle Beach real estate. Obviously, it's tough to rank for that these days.
Yep.
Got my first buyer's agent in 2008 as a direct result of these leads coming in. So at that time, I was really picking up listings. I had, as an individual agent, about 40 listings. It's 2008. To me, it was 40 headaches. Nobody's houses were selling unless you had a bunch of foreclosures or something like that, or you're really an expert in short sales. So the buyers is where we were really thriving at that time.